He's known as The Truth. 27-0. 21 men have not made it to the final bell. That means 21 knockouts. He is the WBC, the IBF, welterweight champion of the world. He calls himself the Big Fish, Errol Spence Jr.
How everybody doing? I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today. It's going to be action-packed on Saturday night. I'm looking to put on a great show and a great performance in front of my hometown. I know who guys coming to fight. I know his coach. We got a so-called great game plan. But on Saturday night, I'm putting on a great show and another great performance. I'm looking forward to becoming another champion and the WBA to my title. So I have 3 belts. That means 1 more. So everybody make sure they tune in on Showtime pay-per-view. Make sure you order. Or if you're in Dallas or you're in Texas, come out to the AT&T Stadium. It's on the grand stage in Texas. And like I said before, you not want to miss this. Come Saturday night.
Versus Ugas. It's going to be a big fight.
First of all, before we get on the prediction of the fight, this press conference was real nice. I liked it. It was between 2 gentlemen in the sports, Ugas and Errol.
It's a gentleman's sport anyway.
Yeah, it was definitely professionalism. Yes, it's definitely going to be a good fight Saturday night. I like the style matchup in this fight because of the height-wise. Great boxers typically have a certain height, and both of these fighters are compatible as far as their height and reach. And you got to remember that Errol Spence works off a jab. If Salas, which is Ugas' head trainer, if he teaches Ugas jab too, but if he teaches Ugas to use his jab as a counter mechanism to time Errol Spence's jab, it will offset Errol. Because Errol is a man that sticks behind a 1-2. He uses his jab to set up other punches. So that's going to be very critical.
As he should.
Yes, but that's going to be very critical because it's going to throw Errol off. So I see this fight going later in the rounds, but I believe Errol Spence, once he lands a couple more power shots than Ugas, he can get a late round stoppage. So I definitely agree with what Errol's saying. He will get a stoppage in this fight, in my opinion. I predicted this about a year ago that Errol will TKO Ugas because Errol gonna double jab his way in after he figure out the timing with Ugas and push Ugas back. Because Ugas, sometimes you can catch it in between shots. Because Ugas can jab, and then Ugas throw winging shots, looping shots. So Errol gonna catch him and come in and push Ugas back. So Ugas won't have no power. That's why Ugas only have like, I think 12 knockouts. So I think that's gonna play a factor, his punch selection, how he throw punches. And that's gonna give Errol a chance to dig into the body and different power shots that Errol do real good by cutting off the ring.
Errol did say if they mix it up, he said he could box, he could go toe-to-toe, he can go to battle in the ring and slug it out. If that happens, he said, the fight will not go the distance. I meant to ask him what would the prediction be in that, but normally he would probably say, like he made that statement earlier, you don't go looking for the knockout, and you're not supposed to. If your opponent cooperates and a knockout comes, so be it. But you never go hunting for that knockout because guess what? That reverses itself, and you could end up being the one getting your ass knocked out.
But with Errol as a seasoned professional fighter, he knows what the style matchup with Ugas. That's how he kind of figure is going to be a knockout. A lot of the experts, this is a fight that you should, if you're a betting guy or something like that, take a chance with Errol knocking him out because Errol ain't had a knockout for a while. So in my opinion, I believe Errol will get this one because like I said, with Ugas' punch selection, looping shots, and Ugas is planted on the ground. So once Errol double jab and push him back, he will have no leverage and Errol can rip shots and Errol goes to the body, to the head real good. So I'm looking for Errol to do excellent work as the rounds go on.
I think this is a 3-to-1 odds too right now. Ugas is like a plus 350, so if you're betting You make money on the underdog, of course, but from what my man E is saying, he doesn't see it happening with a Ugas win, but definitely a Spence stoppage. So you might want to check out what the odds are on what we call a proposition bet for the knockout Errol Spence in the later round. I would probably say somewhere between 9th and 12th round stoppage.
Yes,
That's
I
fair?
agree. Because Ugas, like I said, with his style of jabbing and with him being as tall as Earl, it's going to offset Earl a little bit because Earl going to be looking to establish his southpaw jab. Then Ugas going to be jabbing with him, knocking his jab down and countering him with a jab. So that's going to be offsetting Earl. It's going to be, so Earl ain't going to be able to get the other shots in until Earl, tighten up his guard and just walk Ugas down. Make Ugas punch, and then he can pick his shots
And make
off.
mistakes.
And then Earl going to start digging and get the late round
Like he
stop.
does, he goes to the body very well.
yes,
Then he
yes.
brings it back up top.
Yes,
just like
yes,
he's
he does.
supposed to do.
Yes, he does.
So, I feel like you were saying, it's well matched up. This fight is probably tailor-made for Spence.
Yeah.
No fight is easy, but I can say that I think this fight is tailor-made for Errol Spence for victory.
Yes, because Ugas, even though he throws combination punches, they're not, really crisp 1-2s. You know
Right,
what I'm saying?
right.
1-2s and spin out of there. See, he's not the typical traditional 1-2 guy. His punches is wide.
All over the place.
Yeah, his punches is like that. So Earl should better pick those off
And he
pretty
should shoot
good.
him from the shoulders, tight.
Yeah, so Earl gonna pick all
Catch
that
and
off.
shoot. Earl
Yeah.
gonna catch and shoot and
Exactly,
counter punch.
exactly.
And that's
So-
where the success in
Exactly.
setting up the knockout comes in.
Exactly. As the fight go on. So after about 6-7 rounds, you're gonna see the transformation. The first 5 or 6 rounds gonna be competitive. I give it Earl maybe 4-2 because Ugas gonna be landing effective. Then after that, Earl should take over and go for the
Pick 'em
stop.
apart.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for now, y'all. We're going to go back around and I'm going to turn this camera back around and see what else I can pick up for you guys right now. Everybody's clearing out of here. This is what they do. Final press conference. They want to get the hell out of here and go rest. Tomorrow at 11 a.m., we'll be back at Live Lowe's Hotel for the weigh-in. I told you guys on the trip with me, but y'all like the flight? It was pretty cool, huh? Yeah. Y'all in the living room, wherever they're on their phones, they right with us. We bring them right here in the heart of the fight and all the behind the scenes things that they don't get to travel and do, E. So this is a joy for me to share with the fans and my
Likewise.
followers and viewers.
Likewise, it's definitely a joy and pleasure for me because this is definitely a history-making fight, like Earl said. It haven't been a unified champ since my guy Zab Judah, Super
Super
Judah
Zab.
out of Brooklyn.
Much respect, Super Zab.
Earl is definitely, and Ugas is definitely trying to compete with that. And Earl is a southpaw, Zab is a southpaw, so I'm going to lean to Earl because everything is in Earl favors. It seems like the boxing god stars in the sky is lining up for Earl the True Spence to be victorious Saturday night. And I believe a late round TKO.
And Earl did say the ultimate deal and challenge after this fight is what? Go for the Bud Crawford fight.
But
And
I don't
that's the
think
fight
it's
that he
going to
wants.
happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
Touch on
this
that a
year.
little bit. Why?
I don't think it's going
Not
to
this
happen.
year?
No way this year. No. Because of the budget, PBC have other fighters, in my opinion. I believe that's a fight for 2023 because Bud gonna want to come over if he's signing with PBC
For
to
two
get
fights.
Yeah, he want to get acclimated, get one fight under the system. Plus, that's a guaranteed $30 million for Bud, so you might as well get this 10 because if he step in there with Earl
Too
and-
soon.
and
that
get
might
beat-
that might null and void the second fight.
Right. So you don't want to do that. So you want to, about time this fight over, about time Bud fight, half of the year gonna be gone. Then you want to throw Keith Thurman in the mix.
Keith
because
Thurman is
that's-
supposed to be the fight that Bud gets first.
No, I don't believe.
But then they
Bud.
said Danny Garcia. Now
I
they're
don't
saying
believe-
Keith is going to be that fight, and then Bud.
I really-
and then Spence.
It might be Earl and Keith, in my opinion, because I don't think Bud gonna want to risk those type of fights.
He wants to
better
go for the
fight-
strap against Spence than to risk it.
He might as well fight Danny Garcia because he already done whooped Danny twice.
He'll
in the
destroy
amateur.
Danny.
Plus Danny with his looping punches,
Yeah.
his slow fat
That
foot.
that wouldn't be a good
that's
fight for the fans. They don't want that.
But it's still a PBC
It
fight
makes
for
sense.
Bud.
Yeah.
You know,
out of the stable.
he done knocked off Sean. Now he's knocking off Danny. He's cleaning up what Earl done did. So that's, in my opinion, the more realistic move.
Well, let's talk about this real quick. While we're on the 147 pound, and this is the weekend of this big fight. Let's go ahead and bring my man Jerron Boots Ennis into play as he's getting ready to fight for the IBF Eliminator fight,
Yeah.
and he supposedly is going to become the mandatory for the winner of Spence Ugas. Now, I'm hearing people say that he's not going to be the mandatory. They'll find a way to tap dance around
yeah,
that
he's
and
not.
bypass Ennis.
No, he's not. Ennis gonna
He's
have
a big
to,
threat.
Ennis gonna be like my boy Frandor, who just fought last week. He's the number one, 154. He's not. He supposed to wait. He supposed to wait till Charlo unify. Charlo gonna vacate the belts. Then he'll win a title. Boots Ennis, same category. He gonna win the number one eliminator bout. Once Earl fight Bud next year, then he gonna vacate. Then the belts, PBC still have all 147 top fighters. They
Yep.
have all 154
Four
top
top fi-
fighters. CC.
60.
So, but listen what I'm saying. So it's no rush for Boots to get in there with Earl. Earl ain't trying to get in there with him. Charlo ain't trying to get in there with Frandor. So they have to wait their turn. Sometimes it's about timing. And then, like I said, once they vacate, then you get a belt. That's how it's gonna go, in my opinion.
And that Fundora versus Charlo would be a hell of a fight.
But they're not gonna fight, in my opinion, because Charlo doesn't have any reason to fight him. Because
No
Charlo,
reward?
No, it's no reward,
reward.
because once Charlo beat Castano on May 14th, he gonna unify and move up to 160 because they already got that in the making for him to move up. Then Frandor can fight one of them vacant titles because PBC got all the top 154.
Yep.
So all the belts would still stay at home.
Yep.
And it would feed the other fighters like Tony Harrison now. Who else at 154? All them boys can eat. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then they can redo it all over again. So if you try to put him in there with Charlo, now you done knocked off Charlo under, a reign, and then now you done knocked off Frandor if Charlo beat him. So no, you want him to create his own legacy and put him in there with a small fighter that Frandor can win like he did against Lubin. So that's the right move and the business move to do.
Lubin, Erickson Lubin, is his career ruined, destroyed, self-esteem, broken down, beat up? I don't see him fighting for another year now. That does a lot to fighters, that type of beating right there.
Yes.
How does he come back from this?
I believe, like you said, I believe Erickson Lubin is, affected by that. He was affected by Jamal Charlo.
Yep.
He definitely put in the work. He fought somebody that was big. He had to, in my opinion, the wrong game plan.
He should have boxed and turned him like
No.
like he was supposed to do.
Sometimes with a big guy, you got to go in and get close. You got to do a shell.
And smother his reach.
You got to smother his reach, but you got to protect yourself.
Yeah.
See, if you're trying to box a big guy, once you loop, all this is open.
But you can't stay there.
Right. All that turning, he can just turn with you. If he keep in the range, because Lubin was trying, if you do what you say, he'll try to keep range and the long guy can keep touching it. So you don't want to do that. Sometimes with a tall fighter, you're supposed to just keep it close. As he was hitting Lubin with those upper, Lubin was supposed to block it, turn his shoulder,
Counter.
different things, short shots like he was doing, but he didn't roll with the punches like a James Toney,
James, Sugar Shane was good for that too.
the
Rolling with
ones who
punches.
could fight real close.
Floyd.
Right. So that's where Lubin went wrong, in my opinion, because once he kept himself in the firearm because he was trying to box with him. And that guy's arms is 80 inches long. So in my opinion, Lubin, if his face don't, break up.
Subscribe to me if you want more of the Boxing Guru Show.
Come get it. 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 him get it.